Hey everybody, how are you doing today? I am tired, and I bet you are too. Um, Let me know if you're around, if you're here, say hi. I see a couple people are here. Um, and it does look like my mic is working, because when I'm tired, that's when I forget to turn on the mic. So I wanted to do my nightly crazy time check-in and see how you guys are doing and how you're coping with everything. I've noticed Facebook is a little quieter, so perhaps everybody's kind of just reading and chilling out, I'm hoping. Tell me how you are in general. If you've gone to the stores, you can tell me what you can find there. Tonight, like I said, I'm tired, and you're going to be tired some nights. And a lot of people aren't used to cooking every single meal at home. So we're going to do kind of what I call a cheater meal or a shortcut meal. So I happen to have some pineapple teriyaki sauce that I made in a class a couple of weeks ago that is still good. I tested that already. There are other things like these sanji. Now, if you are on a sophist diet, these aren't going to work for you because they're going to have salt and sugar and possibly a little bit of oil. Let's see. Nope, it says total fat 0. So there is no oil. There is sodium. It's 370 milligrams in 2 tablespoons. So if you're on a sophist diet, this isn't going to exactly work for you. But you could also just toss everything that we're talking about. I've got some rice cooking over here. Hi, Miss Brandy. How are you doing? How is life in Canada? Today I wasn't able to have the house open, and I'm trying to work with a bunch of people on doing more live videos so that they can keep teaching what they teach. I do have these beautiful camellias, and I didn't turn on my overhead camera. You can just see them from here, that I picked out in the yard. So where I am, we've got some different things blooming, and I think you guys can see the little yellow jasmine flowers back there too. And so since we're kind of stuck here, my foot actually is a little bit, I've pulled a little tendon, so I'm not able to go on long walks right now. So I'm just trying to bring some nature inside, and hopefully on my agenda it's cleaning the deck so I can actually do some stuff there. That is the microwave yelling at me. And the other thing you're hearing is the Milthy trying to come up to pressure. So I don't use the microwave a lot, so this will be exciting for all of us. But when I was looking through, and actually I'll sit these in here. When I was looking through the freezer just to see what frozen vegetables, because I tend to just grab some while they're on sale, right? I don't know about you guys, but you might be doing that now. So I found 2 steamable bags, so I used these, and I did use the microwave because I'm tired, very, very, very tired. Yesterday I took a nap from 4 to 8. So I slept 4 hours last night, and then I slept 9 hours. So I slept from like I slept like 8 hours, so like 12:30 to 9 or something like that. So the stress and things, even though nothing is going particularly wrong, it's just all the zzz out in the universe is wearing me out a little bit. Things are good with Brandy. The kids are off school until further notice, which means a little less chaos, so good. And if you follow me, Kathy Hester, on Facebook as a person, just like a regular old person, it's not like a fancy page or anything, I am trying to put out as many resources as that I'm coming across, either to hang out in your house, so maybe you could watch the Metropolitan Opera tonight for free in your living room, or visit a museum. And I just saw, I haven't gone and looked through, where I think there's some Broadway shows that you can see now too. So there's all kinds of things like that, and there's lots of kids education stuff coming through too. And I hate to say this, but if you are a man, if you would message me on Facebook and say, hey, I follow you, blah, 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 I will accept your friend request. Unfortunately, I get a dozen or more fake male friend requests. So I hate to put you guys through that extra step, But if I don't see that you have a lot of friends in common with me, then oftentimes I don't have time to go through that whole thing. But I would love to see you guys over there. Also, if there's certain things that you're interested in, I can start posting them like on the Plant-Based Instant Pot page. I'm posting some things in Vegan Recipes Cooking with Kathy Hester, my private group. Jane Arden put on a Facebook concert, so look her up if you like her music. That's what Brandy says, so that's awesome. So what we're doing today, same. Okay, very cool. And again, I'm not mentioning any of the things that are going on with me it's not a panic, it's just part of life, right? Because this is going to be going on for a few weeks. Things are changing. Cheryl is actually at work, though she is the only person at work because she actually deals with some of the computer machinery things. So that's probably made me a little more tired today too. But once she's home for a while, so yay. So what I decided to make, I have some rice cooking, and actually tonight I am cooking some jasmine white rice. So to me, that's sometimes I get to have some treaty rice. You don't ever have to eat white rice. You can always make brown rice. I usually keep white rice for when I'm having some stomach issues, or my nerves are high, or if I just need something really, really fast because it cooks in 7 minutes instead of like 23 or 21 minutes in the Instant Pot. I have a super firm block of tofu, and a lot of times you'll see those marked as high protein, and you can get those cheapest at Trader Joe's, but they have them at Whole Foods and other places as well. I'm going to chop that up and toss it with some organic cornstarch and put it in the air fryer to get it crispy. I'm not trying to flavor the tofu. The sauce is going to go on everything. Now, and actually, let me see if I can get this camera to work. Yes. Okay. Look, camellias. Because I put these in the microwave for the recommended times. And so let's see what happens. And you can see that they're leaking, and that's because I bought steamable bags. And if I bought steamable bags, chances are good they were just on sale. I don't do this very often. I am not saying in any way, shape, or form that you have to steam in plastic in a microwave. But I am shortcutting my life. So I tried to cook these a little bit less than what it said. Also, there's some liquid, and I'm probably going to drain that liquid out. But let's mix these up. And what I may do, out of that whole mix, I think I have 2 broccoli florets. Everything else is stems. So I'm going to take those guys out and sit on the cutting board, just because everything else can get cooked more. Okay? And then what I'm going to do for this part, because this will fit in my microwave, is I have made a pineapple teriyaki sauce. And I'm going to put a good amount. Let's see if we're going to use all of it or not. And again, this could be any pre-made sauce that you want it to be. And if you are not on a salt-free diet, this is gluten-free and it is oil-free. So that's something else you could have used, right? So the Sanji have some cool ones. Let me see if I can find you a couple more. Sky Valley is another one that usually has gluten-free mixes. So there's a tikka masala. We could do something similar with that. Oh, these are camellia flowers from my camellia bush that's blooming like crazy. So I decided just to put some in. I'm trying to bring in some of the outside to make things seem more normal and beautiful, right? So I'm just gonna, and this smells really good. Now, so what we're gonna be doing is using the sauce to flavor the tofu in the whole dish. So let's, you guys can kind of see this here. Oh, and that's a cute, oh, this is a cute fox on here, I know. And they have different nationalities of things. They have like Korean barbecue and teriyaki and different things. I have to eat gluten-free. You do not have to, perhaps. So more power to you. So you actually have some more choices if you were to go straight into an Asian market than I do. And I'm just going to cut these up fairly small. I should be more worried about them being even and symmetrical and all that, but honestly, I'm a little tired. So, oh my goodness, and now someone's trying to call me and I don't know how to turn it off. That didn't work. So I think we're just going to have to let this go through, unless I can see it over here. Goodness gracious me. Can I get some? Okay, I'm going to bring my phone over here. It's got Maxie excited. Are you excited? Ooh, it's a phone call. Now the Milty is starting to cook. Life is just moving right along, isn't it? And you know what? I think I'm going to be able to use the rest of this sauce. So I'm going to put it in there. So you could have done this many different ways. We could have steamed these vegetables on the stove and then added this sauce. Sauce is a good word, right? See, this is why I usually do my lives earlier. And so you don't have to use the microwave. I'm just being lazy, okay? And again, whatever you feel super strong about as far as using the microwave or not, don't worry about it. And someone says, Ashley Peters says, I never cut my tofu evenly either. I say it's just a texture sensation for your mouth. Some are more crunchy than others. And I like it that way. Or I like what I have to do to make it that way, right? So I'm just trying to get as much of this. Okay, I'm just going to throw this in the sink along with this. Rinse my hands. Okay. Nothing, well, and it's okay. Like, so I taught a class where I made that pineapple teriyaki sauce, right? And it's okay if that's something you want to do. There's nothing wrong with it. But one of the reasons I make stuff like that and put it in there is for times like this. So I'm going to freehand, and I'm just leaving these out. They're just so pretty when they happen. And they just, I'll try and get a picture of the bush. So what I want to do is this cornstarch, and you could use another starch. I think you can use tapioca. Let me get another turning device here. I want to make sure that I get these fairly coated. So I did not brush this with anything. What I did do though is I took the big block of tofu and I usually just rinse it a little bit. And when these come out of the air fryer, they're just going to be crunchy bits of stuff. So that is not where the flavor is going to come from this sauce and when that gets mixed in together. So that's where the magic is going to happen. Okay. And this is going to make a little bit of a mess in my air fryer basket. And this is my air fryer basket that for the Instant Pot brand one that I got over the Christmas that holds actually a lot. Like, that's a pretty good amount of space. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. I'll change camera angles so that you can see me toddle over here. You can put it on air fry. We're going to do it for 5 minutes. This air fryer works a little bit differently in that it actually tells you when to turn things over and it gives you preheat time, which I find powerful air fryers don't really need. I am also going to take these. Cheryl will not eat anything this big. So if you really like broccoli, this seems like the saddest thing ever. I'm going to put these on top and just mix them in with the hot sauce. The heated sauce. It sounded like I was adding Tabasco to this, and I am not adding Tabasco. But what I am going to do is heat this mixture up a little bit more. And that way it will look pretty. If I put it back in with that broccoli, the broccoli was just going to turn brown and mushy and yuck. Okay. So do you guys have any questions in general about cooking, where to get food? I have been trying to put out, and I've been putting this out with this video as well, and you might have to click on the video to see it to the side, or you might see it above or below, depending on what device you're looking at this on. But I put things for, there's a 50% discount on your first order from Misfit Market if you use my code. That is through Wednesday, and then it goes back down to 25%, but that's one way you can get groceries delivered to you without having to do anything. I feel good about it because that's a freelancer making money, and I don't mind tipping someone to do such a wonderful service for me. If you are a Prime member for Amazon, you can get free shipping from Whole Foods if you live close to one and you're within the delivery distance. So you'll have to check that for yourself. They usually have a place where you enter in your zip code, and that will be very helpful. Another service that I use is Insta Cart, INSTACART.com. And depending on where you live, it will bring different things to you depending on what agreements they have. So where I live, there's Aldi's and BJ's and Costco and way more. There's like Petco and CVS and Total Wine and more. So there's a whole bunch of things like that. Ashley says, every time I put tofu in the air fryer, it never ends up crispy, regardless of the recipe time taken. Do you have a tried and true time and tip for tofu cubes and cornstarch? I usually just use the highest temperature, which is either 390 or 400 on most air fryers. And Ashley also says, and thanks for sharing your knowledge with food sources. You're very welcome. We also just talked to Cheryl's parents about that too, because I think that people think it is more difficult than it is. And at Insta Cart, you even get a 14-day free trial. It does cost money either to get the stuff delivered or to buy a membership for the year. It's usually about $100 for the whole year. And then you get free shipping as long as you do $35. Well, and let's see, I'm glad that I almost wasn't going to show the tofu. So let me just show it right now. Right now it is not crispy. It is just hot. Okay, and maybe if we look at the stages, right? And sometimes with the cornstarch and stuff, it'll start to stick. This will rinse out very easily, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to put that back in. And I'm going to say, my rule of thumb for making almost anything crispy is 5 minutes at a time. 5 minutes, shake the basket. Look. 5 minutes, shake the basket. Look. And at some point you go, okay, this probably could go a couple more minutes, and then maybe you don't do it 5 whole minutes that last time. And Cheryl is not home, so I am not going to heat up this vegetable mixture until she gets home. Also, I feel like there's no need for me to teach you how to use your microwave. When we were traveling in Florida a couple months ago, we were in 2 different places with like 3 different microwaves because we stayed with Cheryl's parents as well. And I felt like I needed a tutorial on how to use microwaves. But hopefully, if you have one, it's easy to do. And if you don't have one, like I could have put some frozen vegetables in an Instant Pot with like a 1.5 cups of water and steam them for, depending on what kind of veggies they are, from 0 minutes to maybe 5 minutes. And I would suggest doing less and seeing how you like it, because you can always cook it more, right? And so that is it actually saying, you probably can't read any of that. It says add food. So to to my Instant Pot air fryer's little mind, now is time for me to add the food. And Ashley says my problem is definitely not shaking it enough then. I will try this again. Oh, it's... Hi, Cheryl. I'm actually live. I'm live. So can you make it fast? Okay, Cheryl just left work, everyone, so make sure to make way. You're not going to the grocery store now, though, right? Yes, I think that's the perfect thing. Okay, well, dinner will be ready when you get home. All right, bye. As soon as I saw it with Cheryl, I was like, she's just going to keep calling. So I apologize for taking a call. Brandy says, hi, Cheryl. Hi, Norma. See, it's a very exciting time. Cheryl was going to go to the store to pick up some medicines, but I would, and maybe you guys have some opinions on this too. It just seems like right now a lot of people are going to work or to school for the last time to bring all their stuff back. So I am guessing, and it is nothing more than guessing, that tonight might be a heavier trafficked day than another day. I am also kind of hoping, because we have a prescription for our little dog, Maxie. He is fine health-wise. It helps his nerves stay calm. So I'm kind of hoping that they will either, it's at Harris Teeter, they will either come out with something where they will deliver it to the car, or I don't have them on my Insta Cart delivery service. And let's take this back out again and take a look at it. Okay, and you can see that it's getting a little bit browned and crispy. You guys see that a little bit? And see how it's starting to stick more? Like I told you it was going to, right? Let me find some. Here we go. So at that point, I usually end up doing this. Also, another thing that would keep it from getting crispy is if it's more than one layer. So depending on how big your air fryer is, and they vary crazy. So to me, this is not quite crisp enough, but here, let me sit this down. This is hot. Don't just grab things out of the air fryers, people. Don't be crazy, but you see how it's kind of drier and it's starting to get crispy the way it's moving? Hopefully that helps. So to me, this is about the 5-minute mark. And I'm going to change the time to officially do 5 more minutes. Okay, so it looks good. Christine says, good guess, sounds logical. Who knows what's logical these days? I do know that we have been eating great. And so I'm pretty happy about that. And I just made an order for Aldi's and Sprouts, which is one of the Instacart services in my area. So they're going to deliver things on Wednesday, I think, because I have a class on Saturday that hopefully I'll put out the information about tonight. But this weekend I'm going to be doing a cooking multiple recipes at the same time in your Instant Pot class, or layered meals. Norma says she loves air fried tofu. You know, it is my favorite. And one of the things I find, if you're going to a Thai restaurant or a Chinese restaurant, they're not marinating that tofu, right? They're just frying it up like this, and they're getting the sauce to make the flavor. The vegan vegetarian way to traditionally do things, from even back in the 70s, is to marinate the tofu, get the flavor to come from within, and add it into different dishes, right? And so it's just 2 different ways of doing it. There's no one right or wrong way. The reason I like to do it this way is I don't have to think about it. So because I bought the super firm high protein tofu, which I can't get right now, probably this week later, I didn't have to press it. if I had just plain firm, and sometimes even super firm, the kind that's real watery, I will still press it. And if you haven't ever pressed tofu, the old-fashioned way is to wrap it up in clean paper towels or clean, sterile dishcloths. Sit it on a cutting board because it's going to squish out water, right? So you might even have a towel, sit it on the cutting board, put a cast iron skillet and some other heavy things and pack it up. There are also little appliances you can get to press your tofu for you. And now I will show you one of those. I really thought I was not going to talk for very long today. Let's see, is it in here? Nope. It's in here. Okay. So I have the Tofu Express. And so what happens is the tofu goes in here. This goes on top of it, wherever the tofu is. And then you take this guy, you press it down, and at that point the spring is working where it's not now, and you close it. And that spring keeps a weight on it, and then you can just hold it and pour out the water off and on. You can even do something like this overnight and leave it in the fridge. So what I probably will be doing in the future, if I can't get this tofu the next few weeks, I will probably always try to have one pressed in the fridge ready to go. And that, let's take a look. Yeah, I think this is perfect. This is, to me, this is perfect. It probably could be a little more golden brown for some people, but again, this isn't how we're serving it. And so, Ashley, does that look close to what you're trying to get? Or does that look like what you're getting and you're not happy with that? Let me take a big hot piece of this. And we'll take a closer look. So see, to me, this looks hot. It looks a lot like it does in Thai food especially, right? Thai food, it's just kind of there, and you mix it in and it gets all soaked up in goodness. And you still have kind of a little bit of a soft interior. We're not looking to make all the way croutons, right? So it's soft on the inside, crunchy on the outside. And it's a bit better than mine, Ashley says. So Ashley, would you want it crispier than this, do you think? Because you could just, from here, and I've done this before, I've cooked it until they've become croutons. So I've made croutons for salads by cooking it maybe another 5 minutes to get more of that liquid out. Ashley's partner, this is delicious by the way, even though it just tastes like tofu. My partner expects it to be practically crunchy. So, this was about 10 minutes. Try when it's about like this. I would check it every 3 minutes, depending on how big you make the pieces and how strong your air fryer is. It can go from being, nice and soft and mushy to super, super, super crunchy. Like really ridiculously crunchy, like you won't like it. So check the first time, maybe every 2 to 3 minutes after this until it's the way you want it. Also, even if you make it crunchy, and let's say you make it the day before, it's going to get softer. So I would encourage you to make it the same day. And I hope that that helps. So what I'm going to do when Cheryl comes home is I'm going to heat this up for a couple of minutes. My rice is ready. And yeah, the broccoli stems could go for a little while longer. So I'm going to use the green beans to gauge if I've gone too far. I did a mixture of California mix, which is evidently broccoli stems, cauliflower, and carrots. I had 2 small broccoli florets that I put over to the side. And I did a little bag of cut green beans. Because I didn't feel like cutting up any vegetables, I ate a big giant salad of cruciferous crunch and double apples today, so I felt like I wanted something to change from that. I sent some of that with Cheryl to work as well. So I wanted to change out our veggies. And so Ashley says she's going to shoot for about 13 minutes. And I think that's a great thing. And then try it then. And once you find out exactly where that point is, it'll be easy peasy to do it again. Now, you could also not just do it with cornstarch. So what we could do is we could dip it into something crunchy. On healthyslowcooking.com, I have southern fried soy curls. You can use that mixture on tofu as well. So that might be another way. So you're actually getting like some cornmeal nutritional yeast kind of crunchiness on the outside, and that might be what they're looking for, because the dish can change. For most Asian dishes, I like it like this, because then we put it in the sauce. And if you've made even though this sauce is a little thinner, once I mix that in, the cornstarch on the tofu will also help it kind of thicken up a little bit if it's warm. You guys have any questions at all about anything? I think either tomorrow or the next day, I would like to talk about if you've bought a lot of onions or potatoes or things like that and they're starting to get a little icky, how we can preserve those or use them. With potatoes, I cut out a lot of eyes. So if you guys are nervous about that, I'd be happy to do a demo of that. I like to cut up onions and bell peppers when I get them, which I have not done for a while. So I have a whole bunch over there that I need to kind of separate, cut up and freeze to make it easy for later. If there's something that you are trying to get delivered, let me know. I'll see if I can find a source for you. But I do think Instacart, and Instacart also does Target. So there's some stuff there. And if you, I know I don't want to go to Costco or BJ's. If they have stuff or not, I don't think I want to go out there. It just seems crazy. In my mind, it's Costco on a Saturday afternoon, which is my nightmare of being out and about in the world. But you don't need a membership if you're using Instacart. So that's something else that's kind of cool about that. So just think about all those things. And I'm not seeing any questions at all. I just want to give you guys a big hug, let you know dinner is easy, breakfast is easy. We've got fun things to do. So again, look, kind of Google and see what Broadway shows. On YouTube, the Seattle Symphony has whole concerts. The Metropolitan is doing something every single night, the Metropolitan Opera, and their museums you can visit. And Brandy said, the onion is a great topic. Huge bag of onions because I was giving some to people who were low on groceries anyways. I need to chop up a bunch of onions. So maybe one day this week we will do food prep, and I will try and post when that's going to be ahead of time. So if you just want to, we can food prep along together, and you can ask questions or tell me stories, and I will entertain you the best way I know how. Stay safe, eat healthy, and be kind, and take care of yourself, okay? And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.